Welcome back. You're tuned into Market Fatafat, where we are taking you through all the buzzers in trade today. But before we resume that, let's go across to the management of NIIT Limited. Vijay K Thadani, who's the Vice Chairman and Managing Director of NIIT, who's joining us on the back of quarter two performance. Hello, Mr. Thadani. Thank you so much for taking the time out and joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you. Indeed, a pleasure.
Mr. Thadani, tell us, take us through your quarterly performance. Give us a breakup of the performance across your segments, firstly.
Okay. So, first of all, I want to paraphrase by saying that we, as a business, are in a recovery phase. As you know, the business was very badly affected when there was a hiring freeze in the technology sector. And I think there were few pivots that the company used and a few acceleration strategies. One, to switch to tier 2 GSIs and GCCs, working on working professionals and giving them advanced technology programs, and also then accelerate the BFSI segment. What I want to say is that for the third quarter now, the company has been growing year on year, and I think this year, both year on year and quarter on quarter, the company has grown 11% on year basis and 10% on quarter basis. Second thing I want to say is there is an all-round growth. We work with technology sector and we work with BFSI and others. We have for Indian enterprises also. We've seen growth in each of the quadrants, which means whether you look at overall early careers, we have seen growth. In overall working professionals, we've seen growth. In overall technology training, we have seen growth. And in overall BFSI and others, we have seen growth. So there's been growth all along. Of course, growth in BFSI and others has been faster because a lot of private banks are adding a lot of people and need a lot of training. Technology, we have seen green shoots of GSIs now beginning to start their hiring and we're getting some benefit. So the earlier strategy that we had of pivoting has actually worked out very well for us because now we are ready to take advantage of growth on all cylinders as and when the hiring resumes in full speed. Overall, even in profitability, we seem to be doing the same, in fact, much better on a quarter-on-quarter basis, and on PAT, of course, we've grown 11% year-on-year and 53% quarter-on-quarter. That was just in a nutshell. Generative AI has been a very, very positive force and very encouraging at this point of time, not as much in revenue numbers, but in terms of the people that we influenced and affected, nearly 15,000. And we also have introduced generative AI to enterprises as a board level offering so that they can start using Gen AI in a more strategic way. And I think that has met with a lot of enthusiasm and success. We see generative AI as a very, very positive force. In fact, one of the biggest impacts of AI will be on learning. And given the fact that we have an early mover advantage, I think we should be in a good position going forward.
Thadani, this is Snehi also joining in the conversation. Now, you did mention something about IT hiring. In the previous quarter, the company had also said that IT hiring has seen some resumption, but the volumes were low. Can you give us a status check and update on how the situation is looking like this quarter?
Yeah, so I think the status is same. The volumes are low. Whether they are a little higher or a little lower wouldn't matter. But in an overall sense, we have not yet returned back to the normal days. The good news is that those who have begun to hire and they are going to accelerate, and we did see some positive interest from some of the larger GSIs in getting a lot of training done, and I think they're enthused by that. And I'm sure the rest will follow in times to come. I'm also taking into account the indications which the large tech services firms gave, where they're all talking about year-on-year growth and beginning their hiring programs. Of course, they will accelerate as they see positive results going forward.
Thadani, also tell us about your new client addition in this quarter and your outlook, given the current situation in India, as well as outside India. We have the elections in the US. In India, we have the festive season. How will this impact your business?
Okay. I think our business is very India focused. This part of our business, NIIT Limited, is very, very India focused and a little bit in the Southeast Asia. But I think we would be, lesser impacted by what happens in US in terms of election results. But definitely GCCs and a large number of GCCs in India are from US origin. I don't think GCCs' growth trajectories will change dramatically. And they are a very, very attractive segment for us. We are doing a lot of training because we work with more than 30 OEMs. And I think they require a lot of that training as they move into newer technology areas. We see a very, very positive outcome coming out of GCCs. And also when GSIs, the tier one GSIs start hiring, I think we will be able to get very good advantage. I would then say we are firing on all cylinders. At this time, one of them, the local hiring is still muted. The banking and financial services, I think, also offers a phenomenal opportunity because they are reorganizing themselves. Plus, banks are also introducing technology in a big way. So, generative AI and how it can help in making those people up to date and current as well as skilled enough to offer the right offering to their customers. I think there are great opportunities there as well. There are other areas which are opening up in India, which are in engineering R&D space or in renewable energy or energy transition related products. And I think we are exploring many of those in a deeper sense. And I think we'll share more with you as we go along.
Thadani, also give us a sense of the new client additions that you've seen in this quarter and what's the outlook going ahead on this number?
Yeah. So let me talk about new client additions. We've seen many more than what we normally see. We have not been sharing the overall client additions because I think we get clients at a very low value to a very high value. But I would say about 15 to 20 clients a quarter we do add, which are of significant value. And I think that's the trajectory we are on. We had guided our investors as well as everybody about our looking for 380 to 400 crores revenue, which will be about 30% plus minus year-on-year growth. We are on that trajectory, and we would like to retain that. At this point of time, we had guided on 10% quarter-on-quarter growth. We have actually achieved 10% quarter-on-quarter growth, though with better profitability. I would say as we go forward, we would be switching on some investments, which we are at this point of time just finalizing. And to that extent, I think for the year, our overall profitability or EBITDA will be in small single-digit number. Just to remind you, the company is in an investment cycle. Many of our businesses or products or offerings, whichever you would call them, are in a profitable state and are at a mature profitable state. But there are a couple of them which are in investment phase. That's why the overall impact is what you see in a single-digit EBITDA.
All right, Mr. Thadani, thank you so much for joining us. We will let you go on that note, but thank you for taking the time out. But with that, it's time for us to slip into a short break. Don't go anywhere after the break. We are getting you all the buzzers that are buzzing away in this trading session.
There comes a time when your heart calls for you to arise. Plant your feet solid into the ground. Decide your own limits. And then break right through them. Become something more. It's my time to rise.